This is the Corsair C70 Vengeance case in Arctic White. Just going to go show a quick flyby of the case just to show all the features it has. And if you walk up here, you can see the window mounts. Latches. Now the case inside is a little dark and it's hard to get good lighting on it, so I did bring a flashlight so to make it easier to see. And this LED flashlight does make it a little blue, so it makes it a little bit easier to see inside the case. Now I really like this case because you're able to change a lot around the case, and still you don't have to mod it or change any of the designs around it. It's all in all a really nice case. It's very solid too. All of it's metal, but the handles are very sturdy, and they have no tension on them, and then you let them go and they snap right back. So that's really nice. Usually handles like this, there's a ton of tension on them, but these have virtually no tension, just a little bit when you get to the edge, and they snap right back. And I picked white just because of the color, and I was thinking about something different because everybody has a solid black case nowadays, and with the white I can really bring out a nice red LED color. Now the cutout's really nice too. I'll get to the back in just a moment, but all in all, awesome case. And it comes with two fans. I've already done the hard work beforehand and removed the first fan off the top of the case. The second fan's here. Now some people are thinking, I want to add extra fans. And you have a 140 and 120 millimeter fan spot here, as well as underneath that black case. Now the only thing is that this piece right here is made of plastic, and that's the only thing in this case other than the buttons and the fans that are made of plastic. So it is what it is. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but I remove that immediately. Make it much easier and very customizable in terms of where the bays go. So I take that bottom one off, and I'll show you around the back in just a second how each bay is mounted. But I take that bottom piece off, and you put a 140 millimeter fan underneath of that. The thickness is exactly, you can literally fit this fan underneath that bay right there. But how you do it is that you mount the two bays. You mount these two bays above it, and then you just slide that fan underneath of it. And what it'll do is it'll push air underneath. The problem is that there's no, I'll show you, there's no space for air to move, but it will still bring in extra air into the case as well. I would move these fans here to the front of the case underneath the faceplate. Now let me bring you up to the front of the faceplate, which is amazing, and everyone likes the flip switch up here at the top, so I'm just going to show that off right now. Everyone does this, and it holds down real nice. It's pretty solid. As you can see, I'm stabbing it. It's pretty good. The other thing I'll say about the paint on this case too is that I've scratched it up a little bit by trying to basically move the bays. I've dropped it on the outside of the case, and nothing's marked at all, so the paint's really durable. I haven't had any scratches on it yet, which I really like about this paint job. Most cases when you have that, the paint falls right off, or it starts chipping, and then you get like a peel effect with the paint. So they did a really good job with the paint on this case. The top has 120 and 100 millimeter fan mounts. 140s out here. This case design, it doesn't allow for push-pull underneath unless you have really thin fans or a really thin radiator. So what I'll probably do is mount 140 millimeter fans on top here, and then have a cover over top to protect dust from getting into the fans, and basically push-pull, and the pull will be from outside the case. And the fan grills might have a design or something like that, so it should come out really nice once it's all done. This is the back side of the case, and here you have the two cages. Now the screw mounts, there's only one per drive, and as you can see right there, there's only one. So the only way to get this cage to get, like, if you're thinking about, hey, listen, I just want to mount the bottom cage or just the top cage, the only one you're going to be able to mount by itself is the top cage. And the reason is that the mechanism that it uses, there's a slide on top. Right up top here, there's a slide that the cage holds into, and it holds it in place. And then this cage slides into the top cage and holds in by this one bottom screw. So if you're thinking, oh man, I can really replace this bottom piece and get rid of that top cage and have a fan in the front cage and then a fan in the bottom, it's not going to work unless you come over here and do something to hold it and mount it up. It just won't happen, because all it has is this one screw hole to hold it in place if you take out the bottom piece and the top. So you gotta choose either bottom piece, top piece, or if you want the middle, you're gonna have to mount it somewhere, maybe a bar or something. There's plenty of room over here to get a little piece of metal in there and mount it, if you can see that right there. There's no room though for a fan. You can't fit a fan in between here. What I was thinking is that when you set up the fan, have a 140 on the outside of the case underneath, and then a 120 down at the bottom to bring it in, or 120 on the outside and then a 140 up top. But if you do leave this middle cage here, you have to leave this bottom piece here unless you mod it. But you can fit a fan under here, but it's going to have to be just as thick as the Corsair fans, no thicker. In terms of the back of the cage, it looks pretty nice here with cable management. They have all the bars here to keep it in place, and there's plenty of room here for a for you to access the back of your motherboard, change the socket. It's really, really nice. I'll bring you around to the front, show you what's going on up there. And as you can hear, when I was moving the case, it had a lot of metal noise to it. Again, there's a lot of metal in this cage, so you don't want to, you don't want to scratch it up. It's a really nice case. And you're gonna have to take your time with it when moving it. It'll send a lot of shock into it. So what I'm probably thinking is that when I get some fans on this cage, I'll probably get a fan mount and basically mount the fan into basically something that absorbs vibration. Give a little bit of fan space between the cage and the actual mount. Now when you're taking this piece off down here at the bottom, it gets a little stuck, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pop it out by pushing up the top, and then the bottom piece will come out. And as you can see, when the fans are in there, there's no real space for any air to get in there. It's very slim. So might want to consider changing these up. If you're comfortable dremeling all these out, you might want to do that, or even just cut through it. You could even, you could cut through the whole entire thing, but once you put like hard drives in these little bays here, it blocks it anyway. So might want to consider removing it or moving it up to the top bay here and modding this out a little bit and putting in your full-size hard drive or SSDs up here. If you're like me and you only use one drive, I just use like a Blu-ray player that writes DVDs. Just use it up top here, no big deal. And then you would just have your hard drive, and then you could probably mount your two SSD right here. You may need to do a little drilling though to keep it in place. I'll just let you see there. There's only 4 holes. Well, there's only 2 holes, I should say. And they're diagonal from each other, so you may need to drill into a little bit if you wanted to mount SSDs to this bottom piece here. But like I was saying from earlier, if you're looking to add 2 fans to the front here and you want to remove one of these cages, my suggestion would be whatever cage you save, put the lower airflow fan in front of it. Yeah, it'll move air, but leave the extra bay for a faster, higher speed, or better airflow fan, just so you can get more air in the case. This case looked really nice. It's going to be really hard to get dirt anywhere in the case just because of how many holes there are. But make sure you use what's called positive pressure to keep all this air moving through the fans, and less fans to draw out the air. This will allow the basically the dust filters to catch all the dust for you. And up here, this is what it looks like without the casing. Just the, you know, your headphone jack and your mic jack, your USB 3s, reset, your power. So not too much. I wanted to give everybody a view of what this case looks like essentially with the white and the black. I'm not seeing anyone really have that available as like a video flyby. So I wanted to make sure everybody could see it and make sure that everyone knows what's available with this case. It's an awesome case, and I'm looking forward to making my new build with it. And leave any comments if you have any questions about the case at all, or if you want to talk. Thanks.